Hey there everyone, welcome to Monday. So for today's thing, I was thinking about talking about the fiscal cliff and just kind of touching on something else that's happened, but then I decided I'm just going to do a whole video on the second thing, and I'll do the fiscal cliff later, unless I decide that I just don't want to talk about it. Who knows? So, the other thing was the Sandy relief funding. I'm not sure how many people have heard about it, but when the year ended and, 112th Congress, their last meeting was December 31st. They had a $60 billion relief bill put out to vote on, and they didn't vote on it. They just said, nope, we're not. The speaker's just like, we'll do it later. What? Why is... That's not... I don't even know why you would think that's something you can wait on. Even though it ended up only being a day. But still, it's like... There were all these people who were devastated by the superstorm. And you're not gonna vote to have the federal government give them money. I'm sorry, that makes you an asshole. Completely. Just, why? Why would you do that? And then when the news got a hold of it, like, just slammed him and, like, overran his office with stuff. So when the new Congress met on January 1st, the next day, they voted on a $9.7 billion plan to give the insurance companies money so they could actually pay the people who they'd insured. And it did pass the House, which was good, but there were 67 people who voted against it. What is there to vote against? There's people who've had their houses destroyed, who've had their businesses destroyed, who've had their lives turned upside down by a freak turn of nature. There's nothing they could have done to prevent it. And, they didn't cause it. There's no reason to say no to giving them money. Because these people need money to rebuild their lives. Obviously. Because all the people who had their houses destroyed aren't sitting on these giant nest eggs where they can just say, oh, my house got destroyed, I'm going to go rebuild it. They don't have that. A lot of people's their house is destroyed and it's like, well, what am I going to do now? I don't have anywhere to go. So that's absolute bull that these people voted against it, because there's no reason to. It's dumb. And guess what? Not a single one of them was a Democrat. Every single one who voted against it was a Republican. Conspiracy, maybe? I'm not one to, look into this stuff, but it's like, I don't try to find patterns where there aren't any, but it's like, Republican reps voted no for relief for Democratic states. And then when, people ask them, like, oh, we just, this is going to create more of a deficit for the government, and we don't want all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you want another war, okay? You want more wars, you want all this stuff, you don't want to tax the wealthy, that's not going to help the deficit at all. You want all this stuff that doesn't help the deficit, that doesn't really help other people, and yet when you go to, this could really help all the people who've been devastated by Sandy, you're going to say no? Because it might increase the deficit spending by $60 billion total, where, let's see, the Iraq war and all that stuff has cost us trillions of dollars, and you weren't upset about that? You're gonna go give money to people who need it. And hey, guess what? If you give them money so they can rebuild their in the economy, helps the economy. If you don't give them money, they're just going to turn into more people who don't have homes or jobs to go to, and they're going to go other places, and they're still not going to be able to find jobs or homes, which doesn't help. So, what's the problem, people? And it's just, it drives me nuts, because the only reason that I can see these people voting against it is because it's for Democratic states. And it's like, it doesn't matter if the state's Democratic or not. All these people, it doesn't matter if these people are Democratic or Democrats or Republicans or independents or not voting people or whatever they want to be. They're still people. They still need help. It's not helping the Democrats by giving the people in states that tend to vote Democrat money to rebuild their lives. It's helping people, which seems to be just this concept that's foreign to Washington right now. The people of the United States do not break up into Democrats and Republicans as neatly as the states make it seem. Just because a state's Democratic doesn't mean that every single person in that state is a Democrat. Just because a state's Republican doesn't mean every single person in that state is a Republican. Doesn't mean everyone in that state actually even votes. Okay? So instead of punishing these states because, well, you didn't actually do it, but attempting to punish these states just because they're a Democratic state, you're hurting so many people. And that's dumb. That's absolutely dumb. I expect this country to be run by people who can have a higher thought process than 5-year-olds. Because this is like a 5-year-old saying, you made someone be a line leader who I don't like. So all the people who are friends with a line leader, I'm not going to be friends with. You don't get the cupcakes that I bring in for my birthday. You know? And if your 5-year-old was doing that, you'd be mad at them. You'd be like, no, you share with everyone. Republicans, start sharing. You're not the only people in the country, and you're not the only ones who have the right plan. This country is not built on one person having one plan. It's everyone coming together to a consensus and coming up with a plan that best suits the needs of everyone. This isn't the Republican show. This is the American show. All of us have a say. All of us have a vote. Every single person here is of equal merit, whether they're of your party or not. And you all need to get over that. Because stonewalling something just because it helps a Democratic state, or because the Democrats thought it was a good idea, or all this stuff, that's absolute crap and is no way to run a country. So, get your act together, figure this stuff out, and actually start acting like people who know the concept of sharing. Okay? My cousin, who's in kindergarten, I don't know why my hand's over here. I'm trying to do this just so he's short. But it's over here and you can't see it. Anyway, my cousin is kindergarten. He knows how to share. He's fine with it. Okay, maybe not when it comes to lime tortilla chips, but everything else he shares. So, this 5-year-old cousin, my brother and I and my mom were at their house over the weekend sledding. And my brother and I got in a snowball fight. He's sitting there making snowballs and putting them in a sled for anyone to use. He's not picking sides. He's not saying, I'm going to make all these snowballs for Juanita, or I'm going to make all these snowballs for Emilio. He's just, I just want to make snowballs, and you guys can throw them at whoever you want. That's kind of, the government has all this money, and it's not up to you to say, oh, the Republicans deserve this money, or the Democrats deserve this money. No. It's the American people. It's our money. It's the taxpayers' money. Start using it to actually help the taxpayers. Okay? That might be helpful. Just a little bit. And it might make people less mad at you, too. Because I don't like the idea that my 5-year-old cousin knows more about these basic life concepts than all the, however old the politicians are. I don't know. 30 to 60-year-olds, somewhere in there. All these people who are running our country. So, yeah, it's frustrating. But it's like, if I can figure this stuff out, you certainly should be able to. So get it together and stop being an idiot influenced by party. Because that's not what parties are for. They're to give opposing viewpoints a voice and to compromise. It's not to see which party's the best, which it's turned into. So, you just need to work together and stop infighting. And I've said this so many times in so many videos, but it doesn't happen, and I keep seeing it, and it's just, it's frustrating. So, hopefully, I'd like to say hopefully it'll change, but I doubt it. So I haven't seen any change ever since I've started paying attention to politics, so it sucks. But, I keep hoping that someday someone will actually figure this out and stop infighting. But, people are doing what's right and writing to the people, to the congressmen and all that stuff, getting stuff done, so kudos to all of you for doing that. I hope all the victims get the money that they really deserve to get to overcome this, and that politicians stop being idiots. So, if you have any thoughts on this stuff, feel free to leave them in the comments or message me or something, I don't know. But all my links, like usual, all my links for my Facebook, Twitter, email, and now my second channel are down there. I will hopefully actually get stuff on that other channel semi-regularly sometime. Don't know, we'll find out. But, yeah. So my name's Winnie Dias, and I make these videos every Monday. And I will see you all next week. Peace.